So thanks again. We're going to talk to the Toadstoolz team today, dive into everything they have going on from their on-chain simulation game to all of the events and things they host in the Discord and how they're continuing to build community. So with that said, uh, would love to hear the team sort of background or overview on the project. And maybe before we get into that, just introducing some of the speakers that are up here from your team.
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
want to go first?
Do
Yeah.
you want to go first, Toad Mum?
No, you can go. I'll go after you.
Okay, hi. I'm Toad O, also known as Orange, one of the co-founders of the project. I'm from Australia, and yes, I have my my voice changer. No, I'm I work with some of the other members of the core team as well, and we're really excited. We're about 1 month from our Toadstoolz launch now.
Hey guys, nice to meet you all and thank you for joining today. I'm Toad Mum, another one of the co-founders of the project, and I'm also from Australia. So maybe just a bit about myself. This is my first Web3 project. Have been in the NFT space maybe since last year. And then outside of work, Toad Mum TV and I actually work and build iOS and Android mobile apps together. And this is where the team met as well. And it's been really great building out Toadstoolz and super excited about the future roadmap too. Thanks.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for hosting Metaverse HQ. Yeah, I'm TB, also known as Michelangelo Toad on Discord. Yeah, lead artist of Toadstoolz, and yeah, excited to be here.
Hey, it's Garp, also from Australia. I guess kind of one of the advisors. So kind of co-founder Treasure. But been working with the kind of Toadstoolz team since day one. Amazing stuff that they're kind of doing. It's like really fun as well. And I think people kind of know my background, but yeah, kind of corporate strat and kind of strategy consulting part to kind of Web3.
What up, everybody? I'm Skunk. I'm the head writer, lore writer for Toads. I've been here since day one as well. Little background about me. I'm a television writer for NBC and Amazon, and now currently CBS as well. I've been helping build out the stories for y'all, and I'm super excited.
Skunk is awesome, and the team is awesome, by the way. This is Poof. I'm one of the co-founders at EtherOrcs, and I'm an advisor for Toadstoolz. Been really excited and pleased to get to participate in such a cool project. So it's been really fun.
Love that. I appreciate all of those introductions and the dedication. It's about what, 9 a.m. in Australia right now?
Yes, on a Saturday. It was hard. Well, for me. I don't know about the rest of the team.
Love it. Appreciate the dedication. And geez, first thing I noticed is that the artist is still involved. A lot of, projects in the Web3 space, right? You commission some artwork, pay the artist, and artist sort of goes away. So love that the artist is still involved. So maybe with that said,
Maybe just on that, our
ahead.
artist is actually one of our key co-founders, and he is a web design specialist. So he's all the beautiful art on our website and how everything works. That's also him as well.
Wow, it's awesome. And who's the music?
Thanks,
Who
Orange.
did the music?
Oh, the music was Kali. Go on, Garp. You know more.
No, that's right. Yeah. So Akali, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people know him. Pretty famous DJ. Does a lot of stuff that I guess General Treasureverse, did Bridgeworld, did Battlefly. I think he did MDD as well, from memory, plus probably a few others. But yeah, he's been doing quite a few things for Toadstoolz, and he's just done another track as well, which will be releasing soon when we launch Adventures. Plus, I think he'll he's be creating stuff for us ongoing. So yeah, his music's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. It's like extremely soothing. Every time I go to the website, I just want to leave it up in the background. So awesome. So maybe either Orange or Tomum or whoever wants to cover it. Can you just give, just an overview of the project and sort of before we even get into going forward, right, and what you all have coming up, just sort of the journey to this point, given you all launched about a month ago and have had some success since then. So I'll kick it over to you guys.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll start. So Toads is an on-chain game that is play to enjoy. And Toads, we've been around for a few months now, and we come from our very famous croaky challenges. And that's how you, I guess, get yourself a toad. So we were a free mint and we launched about a month ago. And Toads is all about playing the game and collecting more NFTs. So Toads love to go on adventures, collect bugs. So you hunt for dollar bugs, as you all know. Bugs is a non-tradable in-game token, and using your bugs, you can do other things in the game and get more and more NFTs. Some of the ones we've been doing so far include axes, which will be used in our upcoming adventure, which we'll talk a little bit more about today. And one of my personal favorites has been one of our last Croaky challenges, where the community has contributed their art of Toad comics. And we picked our favorite 21 comics and sold them in the Toad shop. And that's been really fun as well.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I love a lot of the utility you all are creating, even outside the game, and trying to keep community involved with the comics and the events and the Discord and all of these things. It doesn't come off as just this sort of singular mechanism to be involved in a project, right? You'll have a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, we hope so. And we hope that, the Croaky Challenges have been a big part of what makes up our community and has brought our community together. They typically have a team challenge style where you all play together and win as a team. So we have, our motto, Toads Together Strong. We actually have another Croaky Challenge on tomorrow around this time. And yes, it is a speed challenge, and we'll all be playing for Emerald Axe Whitelist, so the right to buy an Emerald Axe.
Nice. So maybe for the folks that don't know, can you give a little bit more about the game? In terms of, is it passive or active? What sort of events can they go on? I know you mentioned adventures which are coming, but you got it, staking involved. Can you speak a little bit about some of the mechanisms that exist currently?
Yeah, maybe to draw an analogy, we think Toadstoolz is like Animal Crossing. So it's kind of, you take your toad as a playable character. You stake your toad to hunt in the game, and as a result, you get the dollar bugs, which you collect. You can spend the dollar bugs in the Croaky Mart, which is our supermarket, our local Toad Croakshire supermarket. And then the items you obtain in the supermarket can either be just pure collectible items or utility items which are consumed by the game and by the next series of events that happen.
Yeah, and probably just like to build on that as well. There's some pretty interesting parts. I mean, like Poof can probably speak to the kind of non-transferability of bugs, which I think has been a pretty big hit with a lot of people. In particular, I think going into this kind of general macro market as well, like there's absolutely no kind of like, sell pressure that you're getting from a lot of other kind of projects where you have a token. This is just around like you actually need to kind of engage in the game, actually actively kind of stake your kind of your toads in there to get the bugs to actually engage in any of the, I guess, the gaming pass, which is quite similar to the way that Etherorcs kind of built that out. We're really lucky to have the Gigapoof on our team to really kind of, help us construct the general way to kind of think about things. But I think like the other kind of games that we kind of draw on as well, and it's really a reflection of all our kind of childhood games. And I think, one of the big things is like just the nostalgia that you kind of get with it, like just the general vibe, the art style and the music. But the other one is Pokemon. And so this whole kind of notion around collecting things, got to collect them all, so to speak, is something that's going to be kind of brought to life in the next kind of phases of the game. But generally speaking, what we're trying to do is kind of build out this like really kind of logical flow of you go on an adventure, you need bugs to go on adventures. When you go on an adventure, you'll collect certain items. They could be collectibles, but then they could also be inputs into something else, which then you kind of then build. But it's more around, the like general kind of exploration and collection of things rather than, I guess, the traditional P2E space, which has been around, just kind of yield farming, so to speak.
Yeah, I think just because you mentioned it, Garp, I think the exciting thing about Toadstoolz and kind of everything that we've learned through EtherOrcs in general, right, about play and own is what we think. I think play and enjoy is a really good one from Orange. But like fundamentally, it is not about earning things. It is about collecting and having fun and kind of that Animal Crossing experience. So what we realized early on in kind of the development phase, which I don't think really anyone's done before, is just like don't make the token tradable. Just you have to, there's the same staking mechanism. It's very similar to a lot of other games nowadays or orcs or whatever, but the token isn't tradable. So the token itself has no monetary value. And it encourages people to kind of go actually really have to think a little bit more about what choices they're making, how they're going to go spend the bugs that they earn with their toad, and then also just kind of, again, keeps it all focused on like a lot of the things that you're going and getting that we've seen the community respond to are not anything with utility. They're just, a cool, rare axe or something. So that's kind of the whole vibe and energy on Toads, which I think is really good for the space.
Maybe just to talk to some of these axe sales. So we've had Poof came up with this idea of why don't we release this very expensive axe that has no utility whatsoever, and it sells out in under a minute. So
Yeah,
bless our
we're talking about
community.
the magic axe, right? That's purely
Yes,
cosmetic.
yes. Did you get yourself any axes by any chance?
I did not get a magic axe.
I
I
have to
told the
tell
team, I
everyone.
was like, I don't think anyone's gonna buy these things, so it'll be fine. And then like literally it sold out in like 5 seconds, and then everyone's like freaking out about it. I was like, oh sorry, I'm like completely wrong.
So he's come out and confessed, but the story is that we had an internal discussion about, the diamond axes, and Proof said no one can afford, no one's going to buy these, no one can buy these, they can't afford to, so they'll probably sell out in a few days. So the whole team, because we all know Proof is our Etherbox brain, had 100% faith that was actually going to happen, and we were not allowed to buy any axes. So I had all my bugs ready, and as the diamond axes came up for sale, as many of you know, by the time I got to the screen to purchase, there were none left, and it was the biggest. I was very upset, but that's okay. We move on, we live and learn, and Proof, next time, not
I was
listening
I
to
was
your
humbled.
theories.
I was humbled that day. I was like, wow, people are serious. They don't fuck around in Toads.
But it was very serious, and thank you to all the community I know who stayed up late, who set their alarm clock and got up at 3 a.m. to buy axes, who bought axes while on holiday. Appreciate you guys, and I'm glad you guys got it and not us.
Yeah, I think the other crazy thing was just like the secondary sales of like the magic axes going for some pretty ridiculous price. I mean, people really want to hang that axe up on their in their wall as that
In the
ornament.
department, yeah.
The collectors, I know there's definitely a couple of collectors. I'm definitely kind of one of them as well. Just you got to have like one of each. Got to complete the set. And that elusive magic axe is something I'm still looking for. Although the cheapest one now is like 7,000 magic, so it's gone a little bit crazy.
So we talked a bit about there's no LP, right? The bugs token is not tradable. It's an in-game asset that provides in-game utility, obviously, but there's still a layer of tokenomics, right? When you think about how to price things, and as you guys are moving forward in your roadmap, etc., which we'll get more into in a second. Can you talk a little bit about how you're managing and still keeping in mind some of those tokenomics?
Yeah, I guess I'm happy to speak to it because we kind of did this together as a team. I mean, it's kind of interesting because the implications are like super different than traditional tokenomics. Like you're not thinking like there's never a scenario where there's pooling of any kind, right? Because people actually can't transfer it. And then really the only issue that could happen is someone gets, which there are now people with lots of toads, but it's still fairly well distributed. But you could have like a whale that gets like a ton of bugs all together, and you have to go think about that. So it's like very similar, I think, to a traditional approach where we're like, okay, we know it's going to take people about this long to go get this much bugs. So, we want, this phase to go last this much and for this thing to go cost this much. And kind of like phase out these different content cycles in ways that people can actually go afford from a bugs perspective. But I think it kind of creates this new thing where you're not as worried about and I think the community is not as worried about how much overall bugs are there in the ecosystem, etc. Like it's pretty straightforward in terms of um I feel like it almost makes the community more willing to go spend right away, which is where I've been surprised or we've been surprised, right? Like people are willing to go kind of just spend on things that are more collector's items or whatever because like there's something about that psychological aspect of the token itself having no value that or can't be traded that I think changes things. But overall, it's kind of a traditional tokenomics model. What's also interesting about it is like it enforces that people are actually engaged. So like there's not really a path where okay I just go accumulate a bunch of bugs and I don't really play the game and then I just go sell it or do something else. It just that doesn't get you anything, right? You have to go do something with it if you want to participate or take advantage of that. So overall it kind of changes the scope of things. Definitely a lot less pressure in terms of how we use it, but it also seems to encourage people to go spend pretty freely, is what we're seeing at least so far.
Yeah, and I'd probably just kind of add to that. I mean, I think we've kind of undersold himself a little bit. I think the way that it's kind of planned out now is quite elegant in the sense that it allows you to do a pretty thoughtful planning in terms of like how much there'll ever be in the ecosystem because the emission rates are like directly linked to the kind of the staking, which we can plan for. And that means that when you take like a longer term view, you can actually start to plan back around like how much content we need to drop, just in terms of like the cycles that we go through, how much it needs to cost, based on kind of the stake rates. We can get a feel for how much things should cost in the actual shop as well. That is the Croaky Mart, like everything costing in bugs. And we also kind of weave, bugs as the underlying currency that you need to use for everything. So adventures, any other kind of gaming pass, you probably need to use bugs as well. And so we've basically got all these levers that we can pull that will, essentially burn bugs. Like comics was a really interesting and nice one to do. We can basically, now that we've got the shop, we've now got a mechanism such that we can kind of enter stuff in there to burn bugs if we need to. So that's really good. And as kind of Poof mentioned, like the only way to get bugs because it's non-transferable is literally to engage in the game. So that's like another really good thing. And I think the other thing, because it is non-transferable, no one's constantly looking at the price of bugs because one bug equals one bug, and it's not just a meme this time. That's actually it is true, because there's this tendency for people just to look at the price of it, and just basically farm and dump, which basically happens. I mean, in nearly every single PDE game, if we're going to be honest. And we've kind of removed that. So it's actually Pip's done an amazing job just in that single mechanic. People don't even think about that. That's not even it's a non-factor at the moment, which has been delightful because you don't have people complaining about price go down, which I think would have happened in this macro market. So we've avoided a lot of that. So people actually focus back in on the game.
Can I just add one interesting comment? Despite bugs, you're right, absolutely, Hatcha, that despite bugs not being transferable, we still have tokenomics. So here's the truth, everyone. Poof has this secret spreadsheet, this master god spreadsheet in the background that maps out the predictions, the Poof oracle of how bugs will be spent over time through the game. And what's really interesting, so the rest of us are all watching to see how it actually plays out, and if it actually becomes true. So there is absolutely game economics, and we are a highly planned game, as some of you may have noticed. So we're very excited about talking a little bit more and sharing a little bit more about today on what happens next, what happens in the adventures, and what is the end goal of this first Toad season.
That is a great pivot because I am excited to hear about some of these other things on the roadmap. So for the folks in the chat, I posted the Toad map right at the top of this, but there's also if you get out there to the guide site or the Gitbook site, there's a nice diagram that depicts some things that are coming up, including adventures, and I know that's going to be a huge topic today. There's create and conjure, and then there's a function called play, which I want to talk about, especially because there's a nice little magic symbol down there on the bottom right. But so maybe we can start there. Can you speak a little bit about what's upcoming, specifically as it relates to adventures, maybe? And I definitely want to hear about the wood and the wood scarcity and all of those types of things.
Maybe I'll start, or Toad Mom, do you want to start? Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess the aim of the roadmap is to really build out Croakshire, the Toad world where you play in if you own the NFT. And then I guess next week we're planning to release the first 3 forests where you can use your axes to play and collect wood. So each forest is going to have a different chance of collecting certain types of wood. The details will be released on the Gitbook and coming soon. And without giving too much details of the purpose of the wood, I guess, is to ultimately use to craft and build something super
Come on,
cool.
Toad Mom.
Which
tell them what it's for. Just tell
Are
them.
we telling them what it's for? Okay, so you build a toad house, which kind of unlocks a new section of the map as well, and allows you to, I guess, dive deeper into exploring Croakshire. And ultimately, we want to give you abilities to kind of customize and personalize your toad house too. So, like, a really important item to have. And there'll also be different types of toad houses depending on what kind of wood you collect. So whether it's a more rare wood or a normal wood, will craft out different types of toad houses for your toad to
You
live
are
in.
leaking a lot of alpha right now.
Well,
Toad
Toad
Mom,
encouraged
you're letting
me,
it all
so
out. How many wood, Toad Mom, do you need to make a toad house?
how many, Toto?
And how many axes do you need to get wood?
So when you go on an adventure, you'll only need 1 axe, but you'll need to go on each adventure. But I'm guessing you'll want to go on adventures multiple times so that you can collect enough wood to build your toad house.
So the answer is you need 1 axe to get 1 log or wood, right? Pile of wood. And then you need 5 axes. We've said this, every adventuring toad will need a minimum of 5 axes. So you'll need 5 pieces of wood in order to build a toad house. But the house isn't coming for a while. There's going to be some other things that we will need to do both as individuals and as a community to get to the house. It won't be that easy.
Yeah.
Nice. So one thing I wanted to maybe highlight the different axes you bring, in addition to the forest having different sort of scarcity of wood, like you all mentioned. It appears like the different axes that you bring along also maybe enhance or modify what type of wood you may collect. Is that accurate?
Yeah, Poof, do you want to maybe give a brief rundown of how that works? If you're there, or I can.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was on mute. So we've got this structure where we have all these different axe types, and the axe type determines the chance of you getting a rare piece of wood for a given forest. And then each forest has its own one number of trees, and then two number of type of regular wood and kind of rare wood that you can get. So essentially, like as an example, if one forest has oak and the rare wood is toadwood, then if you bring a regular axe, maybe that axe gives you a 10% chance of getting toadwood. Golden axe gives you, I think, a 50%. So you can kind of, depending on how and what type of wood you want for your house, ultimately, you can determine where you want to go spend maybe some of your higher value axes. So that's kind of, there's a bit of game theory. There's different supplies, but also kind of it's determined by the community, right? If everyone goes and spends their really good axes that have a really high probability of getting that rare wood on one of the forests, there may actually be more pieces of that rare wood in the end. And then the other thing is that all of the kind of wood pieces that are rare that you'll be able to get through this kind of phase of the game, this will be the only time you can get them. So they'll be, far, far down the road. There might be use for some of the other pieces of wood and other things beyond just making it a house. So they may get reused, but this will be the only time to go get, some of these more rare pieces of wood.
Yeah,
Amazing. Go ahead, Gar.
I was going to add like to the theoretical kind of element to kind of was mentioning as well, that like each of these forests, as a toad, you're going to have to choose which one you want to go to, and as kind of Poop mentioned, like there's going to be a limited number of pieces of wood in each forest. That's kind of one. Obviously the types of wood that's in there is going to be different, so that's two. But then the bug cost to enter said adventure is going to differ between each one, and actually the amount of time taken to go into said forest is also going to differ. So there's going to be quite a lot of decisions that you're going to have to make between each kind of forest you enter into, and outside of rarity as well. I think a lot of this is, as we kind of mentioned, around collection. So it's the aesthetic. It's like what do you want your house to look like? I feel like that's kind of one of the big things that you probably just need to think through, because the types of wood that you collect will have a bearing on what your house looks like.
I'm
So as it
definitely going to
relates,
choose make my house based on aesthetics alone. I just wanted to ask Poof if it's okay. If I had only one toad, what would be my strategy with the next set of adventures?
That's a good question. So I think right now everyone is sleeping on just normal axes, just like overall. So like everyone wants the super rare axes, da da da. But if you just get kind of like a normal wood or iron axe, you just get your 5 now, get ready, then start accumulating bugs, because going on the adventure is going to cost some bugs as well. And then I think really what you want to go do is just figure out, most people are going to have some combination of different pieces of wood. So we just got the alpha that, if I've got a house, it's going to have 5 pieces of wood. What will be the combination of wood that you actually like the most? But I always go for just choose what you like the most, because the rarity, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if you're going to be able to get like a golden piece of wood or super rare witch wood, whatever. I think you got to go for what you hope, that what you think you'll like the most. So that's my advice.
so maybe Poof, to clear that up a little bit for some of the listeners, I can build my house out of multiple different types of wood, or do they
Yep.
have to be in the same tier or same type at all?
No. You get to choose which ones you use. So depending on the 5 that you put in, that'll determine how your house is going to look, basically.
Nice, nice. And maybe a follow-up to that. Is there a level of game theory in terms of going on any of these early adventures if you all are planning to release adventures later on? Like, should individuals be thinking about stacking even more? Is that personally up to them, or how should they be
Ah,
considering future releases?
good question. So I think, like, I would stay focused on the house for right now, because that will take up a majority of the next, let's call it, couple months of activity. But there will be, multiple forests that will be released at different times. So depending on what wood that you're interested in building your house with, you may want to save up a little bit more, go for some of the more expensive adventures that might be released later, and so on. So that'll be kind of the game theory of it all. It's really, hey, am I worried that, let's just say I like Toadwood, that's one of the first forests. Do I want to make sure I get in there first and go there early, or do I want to wait for something later? Because everything will be limited. So kind of like pillaging, if you remember that from Etherworks, there's only going to be so many runs at a given forest before it's gone.
Nice. And even with that in mind, all of these items so far, right? I know you only have a limited amount, but they're tradable on the marketplace.
Yes.
Will these wood pieces be tradable as well?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
purchasable?
Yeah,
I guess not
exactly.
tradable.
So I think there'll be some good, and that's what we kind of like about this. There'll be some good trading, right? Back and forth on the wood. So if I want like a pure oak house, but I get some other stuff, maybe I go trade a couple pieces. So I think there'll be a nice little kind of trading economy or buying and selling economy on the marketplace too. My guess is people are going to want the same color house or the same type house. I want the Witchwood house. That's what I'm going to go for. So if I am not able to get it through adventuring, I can always go sell some of my wood and buy some others in secondary. So that's definitely part of it too.
Yeah, the other thing is that ultra rare piece of wood that kind of exists in the forest as well. Plus, this kind of mystery. So other kind of goodies that you can potentially find when you're adventuring.
Yeah, so Garb's leaving some good alpha here. Basically, in any of the forests, regardless of what axe you use, there's a small chance for 2 special things that you can get, and it's like very, very low. I don't know if we've spoiled what that is yet, so I won't say what it is.
You can.
There will
It's
be
just
some
me and you
special
here.
stuff.
It's just me and you.
Let's just say one of them has something to do with this ultra special, if everyone's seen, spinning MVHQ gacha that we have shown previously in some of our tweets. It is one of a couple of gachas from, different, I guess, NFTs that will feature inside the Toad game and will be rare collectible items within the Toad game.
Oh, you guys want people to be degens. I like it.
Hachi, you going to try to collect the MVHQ one?
How it is. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
we like degen activity. We like going for the things that no one can absolutely get, and then we'll complain about it and we'll go for it again.
Yeah.
Well, I can assure you the MVHQ one will be very rare and very sought after.
It's going to be hard to collect all the gadgets. Let's just say that. Very hard. And just to make clear, it wasn't ready, but the house itself is an NFT, so that can be tradable. But there are certain things that you can only do with a house, or really your home. We think toads have homes. We want it to be your home, not necessarily a house. It feels a little bit detached. This is where all your toads that you own like to chill. But there are definitely certain functional things inside the home that you'll really want to be able to access, but you don't have a home, you can't do it. It's like I guess like real life in some ways.
Nice.
Oh, the
And
rat race of home ownership.
maybe one other piece to clarify for the folks trying to, I can see the wheel spinning in the chat and folks already trying to figure out how to put their strategy together. Is there a cooldown at all on how many adventures individuals can do a day per toad? Things like that?
It's going to take time for you to go on an adventure, so it'll take a couple days where you're not earning bugs, but other than that, it's just about you got to have an axe. Each axe is one-time use, and you got to have some bugs, and each adventure will cost bugs. And that's the only limiter.
And then in
I'm
terms,
never ever using my diamond axe. I only have one, so I'm keeping it forever.
oh, that's amazing. And is there any variation in terms of forest? Not that we need to know the times right now, but are there variations in time depending on which forest I go to?
There is. Some of the later on or harder ones or ones that cost a little more bugs will also take a little more time.
Nice. I love it. I love game theory. I'm gonna have to put
Maybe
me a nice.
sorry to cut you off, just one
Go
more
ahead.
piece of alpha. So building a toad house is not going to be that easy. There has been there will be some other ingredients apart from wood that you will require to build this house. And I think the Toads of Croakshire are going to have to work together to, obtain some of those ingredients. And maybe just as a bit of a leak, we have a partnership signed off with Battlefly coming up. And I'll let Garp talk to this one in detail, but if you all remember, we said that Croakshire is powered by magic. So over to you, Garp, if you wanted to share.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much alpha I'm allowed to leak here, but I guess magic does power Croakshire, and there will be kind of elements that, collectively, Croakshire are going to come together to kind of stake a whole bunch of magic, basically turn on the power on Croakshire, and without the power, certain things that you definitely want to switch on won't be switched on, and that's a persistent thing as well. So that, that needs to be there consistently. But if you're going to put magic in, we need to put it to work, right? So working with Battlefield, we're going to be part of their flywheel program. So basically, anyone who's kind of in there to help turn on the power and Croakshire will also get access to the API through flywheel, which means you're going to be accessing 1,200 to 1,300% boost, plus all the pooled magic inside of flywheel, and that'll be split a number of ways.
Can everyone else hear Garp, or is it just me?
No, he's breaking up. So just to paraphrase, there'll be some different, magic staking mechanisms to go activate something in the game. And also there may be some small magic rewards that are scattered throughout the game as well that will kind of continue to be present over time thanks to the partnership as well as the grant that we have for the game.
Look,
Hello?
listen, yeah, Garp,
You're
I can
getting
hear you
rugged,
now.
Garp.
Yeah, but
Is
you're
it
breaking up.
hello? Is that good or bad?
That's better,
You're
actually.
better.
Oh, okay. My bad. Where did I kind of drop off?
From the beginning.
Oh. Okay. So magic powers Croakshire, and it basically, will turn on certain things that we need, Croakshire to be able to kind of, to play with. Think of it as like electricity, so to speak. That electricity will power on certain applications that we want to be able to use, and that it's magic staked. That'll be a collective stake rate across the whole game. So, if you're a little bit short on funds, no fear, doesn't matter. I'm sure a friendly whale will come along and help us all out, be a friend. Put together strong, so to speak. And that'll be an ongoing consistent stake rate. So that'll need to be on at all times because electricity needs to be on at all times. Otherwise, we can't do the fun stuff that we want to do. But if you're going to put your magic in the stake and help them on the power, then you should be rewarded for that, right? So we're going to access the flywheel program and get access to the GP 13% boost and the magic pool within flywheel to give APR back to. So that'll be kind of split a number.
You're getting rugged again.
Okay. The basically going to take the juicy APR from Flywheel and give that back to a portion of one, the original staker. Two, we're going to distribute to some other kind of fun ways within Croakshire. But that's just
Does everyone know what Flywheel is?
Please explain it for the folks in the on the spaces that haven't heard of it before.
Yeah, so Butterfly have this really cool program where basically they take some Genesis, super rare legions, and some treasures, and stake those inside the Atlas mine and make more than you would make from the Atlas mine do you not own those super premium expensive assets, right? So then they allow partners to put money through their contract with those high level items staked and earn more return out of the Atlas mine. So basically we're going to allow Toads to stake their magic through Croakshire, through the flywheel, and earn a larger return while powering on Croakshire. How cool is that?
I love that, and it sort of plays into this theme you all have, right, of Toads Together Strong, and it sort of takes away from some of the folks that have not participated in DeFi type mechanisms, right, and they can do this sort of through the game, but also just play the game. So it's really, really interesting, and from my perspective, you all are thinking or sticking to that sort of core thesis, right, and that toad map, which is Toads Together Strong. So I love it. And it was definitely going to be one of my questions, right? Because you have magic on the GitHub side. I don't really know what to call it, infographic, if you will, there. So I wanted to ask about that. And then obviously from a treasure perspective with magic and Arbitrum, there always seems to be, this want to link a lot of things together to really create an ecosystem. So I was very interested to hear this point. So it's really good to hear. That's coming at some point later down the line.
Yeah, I hope it's not rugging, but yeah, that kind of composability aspect is a really kind of key thing that we think of when we're at Treasure. So this is just another way that we're kind of weaving it in, and it really kind of speaks true to magic as this kind of third aspect. So yeah, definitely there'll be some interesting kind of use cases, but I think the key part for us, like at Toads, is that it's woven into the lore and the narrative of the story. So powering on Croakshire, but in a really interesting way, and Skunk's coming up with like some amazing kind of storylines there as well. So got a great team to kind of bring this to life in a more kind of game aspect rather than a traditional kind of PD.
Nice, love it. So I do want to talk a little bit about the Croaky Challenge that's coming up tomorrow. It's going to be open for about 2 hours. You can jump in their Discord to figure out the local time, but prizes include 500 Emerald Axes or Axe lists, right, which allows you to buy one Emerald Axe. And then there's 10 Toads for top 10, and then a one-on-one Toad for the winner. But can you all speak a little bit about? Don't give away too much, I guess. But can you speak a little bit about the Croaky Challenge, maybe in general, for some of the folks here that might be newer to you all's ecosystem, but then the challenge that exists tomorrow?
I think one of the keys to doing Croaky Challenge, and if you're experienced with Croaky Challenge, you would know, is that you want to try get a team together, because it's easier to split up the questions or work together in order to get the questions. Another tip would be you want to be super accurate. So, double check your spelling. It's not about like super speed, but you want to balance like getting everything correct as well. That will help you with the Croaky Challenge. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is try get your teams ready before the challenge actually starts.
Love it. For most of for you all's gameplay currently, right? Everything's passive, right? Which is not bad. A lot of these games are very passive right now. But there are folks, right, that I've heard that ask about that as it relates to Toadstoolz or any P2E related to their plans. Do you all foresee that going for an extended period of time into the future? Do you have plans to make any more active type gameplay later
You
down the
mean
line?
like the Aetherox dungeons?
Yeah, similar, right? They've transitioned into right, and they've had to move
For
off
anyone
chain
who's
for a little bit of it, right, and be more active. But yes,
Yeah,
there's
for
two
anyone
lanes.
who's played the dungeons, they're amazing, and I had to full put my like strategy brain on to think about like how I'm gonna beat all these really scary monsters and get my loot. And maybe Poof, did you want to talk a little bit to that? And looking forward to the Toads going to the dungeons too.
Yeah, so I guess near term, and it's been kind of delayed in broadly the integration, but we've on Etherworks released Dungeons 2 weeks ago. It feels much longer, which is a true kind of interactive game using your assets and kind of opens up this whole new system. And then as part of that, we have a bunch of partner projects, Toads, Cyberkongs, and a couple others that'll be able to actually go in and do dungeons and other things in the near future. It'll start with something kind of simple where it's just like, hey, a free dungeon pass where they can go in. And then over time, we'll try and figure out the right way kind of within the broader ecosystem to go integrate. But that's one way, just more near term, probably in the next month or so, that Toads will have kind of more interactive gameplay. And then one of the kind of good things about kind of the connection that we've had, and we've all kind of been friends for a while between both projects, is we're able to also use some ideas and concepts cross projects. So, like, right when we started on Toads, everyone was super excited about like fishing because it's just so intuitive. How do we go make that? Maybe it's kind of active or like, just about as active as fishing is in a normal game. So we have things like that too that far down the line, not in far in, I think Toad language is maybe a couple, 3 months, whatever, but 3, 4 months, but ability to do more active things. I think there'll be kind of like different seasonal adventures that may or may not have active components. And I think one other thing too, if I think about like what I love about Toads and how I think this type of project embodies the metaverse better than a lot of things, like a lot of it's kind of combined and hybridized where there's activities like the croaky challenges that people do that are outside of the blockchain or just on Discord or people actually making comics and stuff. And then the team has found ways like with the comics that are actually on chain now, to go integrate them with blockchain or integrate them into the game. So it's like a very community kind of hybridized type experience. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling here, but I think near term there's definitely some dungeons that Toads may be going on within the Etherworks ecosystem. And then the future state, I think we have a lot of kind of fun ideas to go keep the future adventures and everything a little more engaging. Plus, you're going to have this house, so I don't know if it's exactly active, but think kind of like, Animal Crossing. You get to go inside your house and go see what's going on. So that might be something in the future as well.
The alpha.
There will be, I think we are thinking about active components to the game, but Hutcho probably won't give away too much on that right now.
Well, I thought I was going to hear more from Toad Mom, who's got this background in mobile apps, right? From the beginning of this, I think you said. So, I'm just trying to put
Toad Mom,
alpha out.
are you building us a mobile app?
That would be really cool.
Well, we're here for it. I just want to let you know that you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Well, just to brag on the team here, like I think what I've been so impressed with Toto and Garp, you're okay, but TV and Toad Mom and the team here, they're like serious pros. Like I look at the process and how they go think about the design and the app and like just all of that and the experience, and they're serious. They're really good operators and they really know how to do things the right way. So it's been a pleasure to go kind of see them work and everything. It's a really good team.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty stacked. I think anybody that engages with you all and listens to you all, pretty good team. Maybe along those lines, right? You did have an update yesterday and some movements on the team from your extended team. I think overall, in terms of what I've seen from a community perspective, it's been well received. But can you all speak to that, just in terms of normacy of things like that, and giving other folks opportunities, pulling people up from the community, et cetera?
Yeah, just wanted to say we some of the people that have left the team, Crypto Dad, Amazonian, and Arcanic, really appreciate everything you guys have done to bring us to propel us to the launch and beyond. And it was time to bring on a few new people to help as well. So we brought on two new mods, Dino and Tobazi. Not sure how to say your name, and as well as Machu Picchu from Battlefly to help us with growth. Machu will obviously continue on in his Battlefly as the primary role and will be helping us in addition, and we really appreciate that. And Toadstoolz as well, who will be helping us run some fun events and give away some toads on a weekly basis. Last but not least, we wanted to bring on Joey into the team. He's been really helpful for us in helping us deliver our toad map. And yeah, wanted to welcome him as well. But yeah, thank you to all those who have helped us past, present, and future. And we really look forward to working together. Just on that note, Hutcher, I think the group is ready for some questions as well.
Absolutely. I usually try to get there at the end, so you all bear with me. I know we're coming up on an hour, but I'll try to bring some folks up from the audience and see if we can get some questions. All right, we will start with Incognito Starboy whenever you can get in. Ask away.
Hello? Hold on. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Is that Fuzzy?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Croak to everybody. Good morning. How are we? I just wanted to say, I mean, it's hard to sort of come up with a question given the amount of alpha that you guys have dropped on this Twitter Spaces. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I've been a gamer for a long time, crypto enthusiast for a while, trying to find like a game which actually works, which I can invest in. That I can actually play. And you know, since joining Toadstoolz, getting my toads, I've had a lot of fun collecting bugs, axes, even comics, which is crazy to think, you know, coming into this whole Toadstoolz arena that would be able to collect comics that, you know, people have made in the community. Super awesome. I guess one question would be regards to houses on the alpha that you guys dropped would be, if we build a house and it's not like what we wanted, would we be able to manipulate that house or rebuild a house or build a new house for our toads? Or are we sort of, you know, you build your house with the axes, sort of stuck with that? That's one question that I've got for you guys.
So the question is, can you renovate your house?
Yeah, can you renovate, or are you sort of stuck with what you build initially, or is there chances to sort of build new houses or multiple houses? Yeah, how does that sort of look?
Well, Fuzzy, as you know from, I think, your real life job, renovations are always possible,
Yeah,
but always very expensive.
true. This is true. All right, well, yeah, I guess a lot of alpha, so I can't really ask too many questions. You guys have spilled a lot of the beans, so yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to all the fellow toads out there and have an awesome weekend.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Awesome. Incognito, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Morning, we can hear
Hi.
you.
Yeah, good morning. My question is, does the rarity of your toad and your axis contribute to your ability of getting rare woods to build your house, to build your toad house?
The answer is yes, most definitely so.
Okay, so people with rare toads and diamond and golden axes have a higher chance of getting rare woods, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. My second question is, what if I decide to, get a house with rare wood on the marketplace? Would that be possible?
Could you repeat that? I missed that part.
I said, will the houses be tradable on the marketplace?
Oh, yes. There will be a secondary real estate market for toad houses.
All right, all right. And my last question is about getting bugs. Is there another way of getting more bugs apart from sticking your toads?
The primary way to get bugs will be to hunt for bugs. However, there may be other ways. We know Croaky Joe has some thoughts up his sleeve. So watch this space and find out more. Other ways to become a bug whale.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, and maybe our last question that we'll take, JC NFT. You there?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, JC.
Yeah, I just had a few questions. Really bullish on toads. So I have these written down just in case, so I didn't miss them. So is it random, like a percentage chance of how many types of wood, or can you only get one wood per axe?
It is one wood per axe. So one wood. Once you use that axe, you're done.
Okay, and then one wood per axe, and then so can you have for example, have 5 different axes for each toad, like assign them if you have multiple toads, and then assign those to
Yep.
what's it called? Different adventures.
Yes. Yeah. So you. Oh, go ahead, Toda.
I was going to say you can pick which toad uses which axe. So if you have a gold axe, you can give that to your favorite toad, for example.
Okay. And then I'm assuming you could speed run maybe getting as much wood as you need by putting all of your toads going to one what's it called? Forest, and then getting the amount of wood you need, and then you can have multiple houses, I assume, as well.
That is a good strategy to focus. And Poof, can someone make multiple houses?
Uh, it depends on how many toads you have, but yes, like theoretically, yes. So if you want to stack wood and then try and get more houses, I think the answer to that is yes. But there's going to be more than just wood that you need, so that you'll have to do some other things probably later down the road. I guess is probably my only feedback. But yeah, if you have 3 toads, you can get more than just like 15 pieces of wood if you want, and you're able to optimize it. So it's kind of like some strategy. Do I want to go spend more bugs against trying to get rarer wood and better axes and other things, or do I want to just go like wood maxi and try and get as much wood as possible? So I just have like many, potentially many houses, depending on my strategy.
But yeah, and just to confirm though, there is a fixed cap on the total number of houses that will ever exist though.
Correct. Yes, exactly. So there'll only ever be as many houses as there are total toads. So keep that in
Okay,
mind.
so it'd basically be one toad, one house.
Yes, but if on secondary got something that enables you to go make a house that someone else didn't want, you might be able to make another one. But generally, it's one toad per house.
All right, sweet. Thank you very much for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
sure.
for coming up and thanks for hosting the streaming for our last event. I've never seen someone drive a cart so well and not fall into any holes. And we have some more events coming up with JC coming up soon.
Looking forward to host them.
All right. Does the team have time? I know we came up on an hour here. Team have time for maybe one more question? I can pull another person up.
Yeah, and then after this one, maybe we might give away some toads.
Here we go. That's what I was trying to get to. Let's see. I'll pull up one more person here. All right. We'll give Patches a chance to get connected. Patches, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. Can you hear me?
We can.
Nice. Hey, Toad Team. I just have a couple questions. First one being, is there an ideal amount of toads that you would say a wallet would need to be the most efficient? Is there like a designated number of toads? Just in like a general idea.
One cannot have too many toads in their wallet.
More toads, the better.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Just accumulate as many as possible. Also, so whenever you say that it's one axe per wood, is that axe will that axe be burned upon use? Will it be burned or will it be like
It's
recycled or how will
burned.
that work? Okay.
Gone. Burned.
Okay, those are the only two questions I had. Thank you very much, Toad Team.
Thanks for coming up.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming up.
Max, did you wanna speak while we're getting ready for the giveaway? Go on, Max. Nope.
I'm ready for the
Oh,
giveaway
here he
if
is.
you want to do that.
Yeah, here he is. Maybe we'll get Max up first.
Okay.
Oh, hello. I just wanted to say hi and wanted to see how I can win another toad.
Max, you're totally banned from winning more toads.
And then I just wanted to clarify something or ask the team, maybe other people have the same question. So once you collect bugs, right, and let's just say you have to claim them and then you own them forever, even if you sell a particular toad, or do you have to have a bunch of toads to keep your bugs? Does that make sense?
You mean even if you sell your toads, do the bugs remain in your wallet?
Well, for example, I have a couple of toads, and I've collected a X amount of bugs, and I'm gonna claim those bugs. But I want to upgrade my toad, so I might sell one. I still get to keep all the bugs I've claimed, regardless of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yep.
like I think I forget what Bialik calls it, but like soulbound or something. Like the bugs are like tied to your wallet, even though they're not transferable. They're not tied to the toad once they're claimed.
And
so you have those. Yep.
And let's say hypothetically speaking, I only had one toad, and I sell that one toad, but I claimed all my bugs. So meanwhile, I figure out how to buy my next toad, but I sold the only one I had. Would I still be able to use those bugs without having the toad?
Yep. Yeah, just like a normal token. It's just like soul bound to your wallet. Yep.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that because I know some people had asked me in the past.
No, good question.
So.
No, really good question. Yeah, that's kind of something that hasn't really been done before, so I'm sure it's kind of confusing.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Max.
All right, let's get to this giveaway. Orange, I know you all were gracious enough to afford us three allowless or access spots, I believe, to give away to folks on the spaces. Are you upping the ante?
There'll actually be 3 airdropped toads.
Oh wow! Here we go. 3 airdrop toads. I was thinking we were getting emerald axes here. All right. How do we want to do this? Do we want to get maybe 3 of you to pick somebody from the audience? I think that would be cool.
So I think we're going to do a flash giveaway on our Discord. So if everyone on the call right now could go into the Croaky Challenge channel on our Discord, I'm going to open a giveaway where you just need to react to the bot, and then it's going to pick 3 random winners to win a toad, and it's only going to be open for 1 minute.
Awesome. Well, let's give it a second. So for all of the folks on the spaces, if you're not in the Discord, you can go to the Twitter account for Toadstoolz NFT, and in the bio, the Discord link is there. So maybe let's give these folks, for some of the folks that maybe weren't in there, two minutes or so to jump in. And then maybe as we're doing that, any closing thoughts from the team? Any
Maybe we can
considerations
let
you guys want to throw out?
Snake Oil Farmer come up. He's been requesting for a little while.
All right, let's see. All right, snake oil. You out there?
You need to unmute.
Yeah, I'm right here, guys. Greetings from
Awesome.
3 a.m. Greece.
Oh my God! Hi,
Wow.
welcome.
Yeah, bit. I was gonna sleep earlier, but then you guys started the space and dropping alpha after alpha. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stay awake.
I love it.
It's going crazy. I'm super happy the way the project goes. I only have one toad that I got for free, and I'm keeping it safe and clean, working hard in the marshes. Overall game is really fun, guys. I can tell you as a small fish here that even for us it's quite fun, gathering the bags and trying to collect stuff. And as you said, for once not caring what the price of the shitcoin is. Oh. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I got to say about that. I'm a bit worried now that our axes will be burned once we collect the wood. It means this toad is not working hard enough. We need more than one. But I'll see what my strategy will be. Either way, big love from Greece. Keep it real, and we speak soon.
Thank you, and thanks for the feedback, and thanks for coming up on stage.
Love it. And maybe before we get to the giveaway, we can do it right after this question I've got. Can you speak to maybe piggybacking off of Snake Oil's notes there? Folks that feel like, oh, the ecosystem started about a month ago. Am I too late to enter the Toadstoolz ecosystem? What kind of advice or thoughts can you give to somebody sort of on the fence about whether they should enter or not?
I think it's never too late to own a toad, and you'll be a little bit behind on bugs, but you can always catch up. So if you stake your toad straight away, you're back in the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Toad Mom, are you? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead,
sorry.
Garth.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, because you can pick, axes up on secondary market, wood axes, although they got the lowest chance of rare, I mean, they're very, very cheap, pretty accessible. I think like one magic or so, maybe even less. So there's definitely ways that you can kind of jump in if you need to kind of stack those bugs a little bit more over time. And I think, accessibility is a big thing that the team kind of we want to make this as kind of friendly as possible, so all the Toad fam can kind of get on board.
Awesome, love it. Well, I think we've probably given folks enough time to jump into Discord if they want to. So if you all want to run that flash giveaway and let folks know which channel they should jump into.
Yep, just setting it up now. So you just want to make sure that you're in the Croaky Challenge channel. And it's live.
Good luck, everyone. We're watching you.
All right, it's in the whitelist weekends section for folks just learning or trying to navigate. So jump down there. You've got about 40 seconds left. Wow, that counter is flying. Love it. So what does the rest of the weekend look like for you all, the Toadstoolz crew?
In Australia, it's the federal election. Sorry, yeah, the federal election right now. So we got to vote.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty serious here. If you don't vote, you get fined.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Whew. Yeah, you learned something new.
10 seconds, everyone.
No pressure.
Oh, no Well, congratulations.
Love it. Congrats to the winners.
Thank you for everyone who stayed up late and took time out of your Friday night or Saturday to come listen to our AMA. We really appreciate it. And Metaverse HQ, thank you so much for hosting, and you guys are super professional and awesome at what you do.
As always, we love games. We can appreciate builders, folks that are building something that's more than just, details on a sheet of paper. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing in the ecosystem. Good luck, and good luck to all of the folks doing the challenge tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Good night, good morning, good evening.
Thanks so much,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks as always, Hunter.